I don't remember what I said last time when I talked about a Switch successor when it came to like timing and stuff like that. But the rumor is next year for next holiday season. And I don't know if I believe that. I feel like we may have heard something about it and some official I think Nintendo would have said something about it if it was coming out next year. But I guess they probably wouldn't want to squash their current holiday season. So I bet if they have anything to say, it's going to be early next year so that we can get through this holiday season and people can buy the games for the current Switch and buy the current Switch consoles, and then maybe they'll say something about it. But from a time, from a development standpoint, from a time standpoint, it's been however many years. Like, another system is coming out from Nintendo. They don't really seem like their internal development studios or any of their development studios that are responsible with dealing with building certain games are working on stuff for the Switch. The release schedule continues to be light. Like, what we've got Metroid Prime 4 yet to come out, and maybe like one or two other things, but like it's clear that the development teams are working on stuff for the next system. And that makes sense just with the amount of time it takes to do anything. Like, clearly they're doing stuff. I think there's a lot of rumors, the things that people can report on when it comes to copyrights and stuff that shows up in lawsuits between random other video game companies and things like that indicate that it doesn't sound like Nintendo is going to go off in a wild new direction. It doesn't sound like they've got a Wii when they're following up a GameCube. It doesn't sound like anything that off the wall. Like, the Switch did a whole lot of business, and it still makes sense to occupy that same niche of a home console that can be a handheld console. And frankly, there's a lot more competition coming in that spot anyway. Like, Steam came up with this thing that was basically just a Switch, but much more powerful, obviously. Like, people are trying to invade that space, so it is a profitable place to be. So I don't see why they wouldn't do that again. But until Nintendo like says it officially, I'm not sure I'm gonna believe like a lot of the more rumored stuff. Like, I'll believe the copyrights and things like that. Like, it makes sense to go down the Switch 2 route, but until they say something official, I'm not gonna like 100% believe anything really. It's exciting. It's a little sad, I guess, when a console generation ends. The Switch, is the console me and my wife have had. It's our married life console. So, um, and there's been a whole lot of good games for it. Nintendo really did a good job of doing like the best possible version of a whole lot of games. It was a really great Zelda. It was a really great Mario. It was a stupidly successful Mario Kart, a stupidly successful Animal Crossing. Like, it was a system that had a whole lot of downloadable games, so you could do a lot more indie games. You could do a lot more niche games. Like, when a system is this popular, like, video game companies can afford to make things that hit a more niche audience. Like, and it just has that much player install base that it could do well. Like the Fire Emblem Three Houses game, for example, that was like easily the highest selling Fire Emblem game. So my brother always brings up the like he's worried what's going to happen next. Like, how can they possibly follow up the Switch with something as financially successful? And I mean, honestly, like it's usually impossible. Like, there's going to be ups and downs, but it'll be very interesting to see what that's going to be like. I'm gonna guess if it's coming out next year, they will start to talk about it next year and make sure that everyone buys their games for the holiday season. That makes sense to me. So who knows? Maybe we'll find out about it in the winter or spring. We'll see.